The price of gold is at all-time highs. This is probably due to the fact that some people think there's going to be a World War III, and the monetary system is collapsing in just about 3 weeks, 6 hours, and 25 minutes. Or maybe people just want to own something that inflation can't really eat away. After all, the amount of gold mined each year is tiny compared to the existing reserves, so the price is pretty stable. It would be pretty funny, of course, if someone figured out how to create real gold in a lab. Oh wait, someone actually did figure that out. But currently it costs billions of dollars to create just an ounce of gold because a particle accelerator is needed in the process. Or that's what they say, at least. It's July 2024, and you're watching the 7th episode of Money Boost. So, last Thursday, while working on my secret plan to overthrow the government, I did a lot of research into gold. Did you know that until 1971, the primary currency was actually gold? Well, kind of. Until 1971, the US dollar was pegged to gold. When governments traded with each other, one could always exchange $35 for a troy ounce of fine gold, and vice versa. This created price stability, increased confidence in the dollar, and prevented the government from printing unlimited amounts of money, thus softening inflation peaks. But if you're the United States and want to rule the world, there are some obvious negatives to using this system. First, you couldn't print money. Say what you want about printing money, but there are some benefits to it too, at least if you're the reserve currency of the world. Inflation is a type of tax when you think about it. Foreign countries are holding your currency as their reserve, and then you can just print more of the currency, decreasing the value of those reserves. That's a 200 IQ move by the US, if you ask me. Gold is not at all-time highs just because random individual investors are buying it from Costco. Many governments are increasing their gold reserves too. Do they know something that we don't? Why is pretty much everyone buying gold right now? If we look at history, gold has been a form of money for thousands of years. It makes sense. It's shiny and looks valuable. You can't create more of it, at least for cheap, and it's a rare mineral in nature. In fact, gold, together with silver, was used in the earliest known minted coins around 600 years before Christ. And thousands of years before the first coins, Egyptians traded in gold. They probably paid aliens to build the pyramids in gold too. Many currencies have come and gone, especially if we talk about cryptocurrencies, but gold is still used today. Gold has pretty much always increased in price during economic uncertainties and geopolitical tensions. There's nothing new really to what's happening now, other than the fact that the price is at all-time highs. Or is it? If you adjust gold's price to the US dollar's inflation, there have actually been 3 peaks in 1980, 2011, and 2020 when gold reached a higher price than it is right now, as of making this video. In 1980, there was high inflation because of strong oil prices. Soviet intervention in Afghanistan and the impact of the Iranian Revolution prompted investors to move into the metal. In 2011, investors bought gold after the first ever downgrade of the US's credit rating. And in 2020, of course, due to that virus thing. It's actually pretty crazy if you look at the price. It's way higher now than 4 years ago, but all of that is due to inflation. Someone must have forgotten to turn off the money printer. Or I think they don't even actually print the money anymore, just add it virtually with a click of a button, just like cryptocurrencies. At least there's a cap on how many bitcoins can be created. Today, gold is this high because of that Haktua girl, and because there is uncertainty about the economy in the US and many countries, and of course the geopolitical things happening. Gold as an inflation hedge can be a good investment. Now is probably too late for that, but historically the price of gold has increased whenever inflation has increased. And just because gold is a resource with limited supply, it shouldn't be affected by inflation the same way as fiat currencies. But the price of gold does fluctuate quite a bit. After the 1980 peak, for example, the price dropped from around $2,500 per ounce to less than $500 per ounce in 2001 when adjusted for inflation. If you compare the inflation-adjusted returns to the S&P 500 index, gold has historically performed way worse. I don't think that will change in the future either. So the conclusion is that gold as an investment to make money is probably not the best idea. But that's not the reason many buy gold. Like I mentioned, the price increases whenever there's economic uncertainty uncertainty or geopolitical tension around the world. Gold is like a safety net when shit goes down. It might not generate wealth, but it can preserve it. If you want to buy gold, it should be a small percentage compared to your other investments. The idea is to hedge against downturns and not to expect massive gains. Of course, if something crazy happens in the world, those who own a lot of gold are probably going to look like the smartest people alive. You can buy actual physical gold, which I would do if I wasn't broke because it looks nice and shiny, then store it in a bank or in a storage vault. Or you can also not trust anyone and move to a remote cabin in the woods with your gold and wait for the end of the world. To be clear, I don't own any gold, so don't come to rob me. You can also buy gold ETFs if you really want to try and make money trading it, but I wouldn't because real gold is nice and shiny. If you're a 200 IQ stock trader, you could also invest in gold mining companies. These stocks often have a delayed response to increases in gold price because when the price of gold increases, so does the revenue of these companies, while their operational costs remain stable. Investors and gamblers, traders, know this of course, so some of it is quickly priced in the stocks early, but still there are many who swear by this trading strategy. So, should you buy gold as an investment? Probably not right now, since the price is so high. Unless something funny happens, and I mean something definitely not funny, the price will probably come back down again. Now, if you think the world will end in 3 weeks, 6 hours, and 18 minutes, then yeah, gold is probably a good asset to have in those extreme situations. This was the 7th episode of Money Boost. Thanks for watching, and have a nice life.